I am studying the management of calves with nurse cow in organic farms, and I am studying the sanitary and zootechnical impact of this new management. I am going to present you the result of my first part of my PhD on the risk factors of Cryptosporidium oocyte shedding in dairy cows raised with nurse cow in organic farm. French organic farmers increasingly practice dairy farming systems allowing cow-calf contact. Classic management of dairy calves in organic farming consists of separating the calves from their dam within 10 to 24 hours after birth, calves being fed with farm whole milk before weaning at 3 months and turn out. In contrast, the management of dairy cows raised with nurse cows is characterized by the fostering during the first months of calf life, which an unmilked lactating cow suckled from 2 to 4 calves. Calves raised with nurse cows exposed to profound change during the neonatal period, like feeding mode, location, animal contacts. That can have consequences on the epidemiology of diarrhea, particularly cryptosporidiosis, which is the most prevalent infection in calves between 5 and 21 days. Calf can infest from birth by intaking oocyte present in its environment. The prepatent period lasts from 2 to 14 days. The calves then excrete oocyte for 11 days and contaminate its environment. Description of this system as well as evaluation of its impact of calf diarrhea are very few. So, the objective of this study was to describe the nurse cow-calf rearing system and to assess the frequency, the intensity, and the risk factors of Cryptosporidium infection in such raised calves. 19 commercial organic dairy farms located in Western France and 1 experimental farm located in Eastern France participated in this study. Between January and September 2019, feces were sampled by farmers, once from each calves between 5 and 21 days of age. At the time of sampling, calves could be still with the dam, being in artificial milk feeding, an optional phase where calves being fed with whole milk of the farm are fostered by the nurse cow. Fecal Cryptosporidium oocyte shedding was evaluated semi-quantitatively with a score of shedding from 0 to 4 based on the number of oocyte counting as you can see here. Then, to assess risk factors, the shedding of Cryptosporidium oocyte was coded as a dichotomous variable representing the negative or positive status of each fecal sampled. In a first dataset, including all the calves, all risk factors investigated were collected as time of fecal sampling and considered the time characteristic, the calf characteristic as age, sex, breed, and calf rearing phases. On a second dataset, including the fostered calves only, factors investigated were fostering specific variables as nurse cows or fostering characteristics as age at foster, number of fostered calves by the nurse cow, the presence of an effective calves among calves fostered by the same nurse cow. Mixed effect logistic regression models was used with farm as random effect, univariate firstly and then multivariate in the both datasets. The majority of calves were crossbred. Breed could be Holstein, Norman, Montbéliard, Jersey, and also mid-breed as Limousin, Charolais, Belgian Blue, and Rouge Flamand. The rearing practices of the replacement and non-replacement calves greatly varied between farms, but consisted of 3 phases as you can see. A first phase with a dam, followed by an optional phase of artificial milk feeding, and the last phase of fostering by a nurse cow. A nurse cow fostered from 1 to 4 calves, 2.5 calves on average. Non-replacement calves could be sold at each phase. 158 cows were chosen to be nurse. Most of the nurse cows were multipars. The farmers choose these cows because of high somatic cell count, reduced reproduction performances, milk issue, lameness, or the maternal character of the cow. The scores were distributed as you can see. 40.2% were tested positive for Cryptosporidios oocyte shedding, and 2.6% with a score 4. The within-herd prevalence of calf oocyte sheddings varied from 0 to 71%. 40.4% calf fecal samples were diarrheal. In the analyses, including whole calves, the final multivariate model, including 5 potential and dependent predictors, as you can see. Level of risk factors significantly associated with Cryptosporidium oocytes were the last 2/3 of the birth order, being born between January and July versus August-September, being with the dam indoor rather on pasture, having an artificial milk feeding phases versus being with the dam only, and being in contact with peer calves. In the analysis, including only fostered calves, the final multivariate model, including only one variable, the presence of the positive peer calves among calves fostered by the same nurse cow. In this study, 40.2% of calves shed Cryptosporidium oocyte in the feces. This proportion is similar to have observed in dairy and beef calves classically weaned in Spain or in France. In contrast, the intensity of shedding was markedly lower in our study, score 4. The prevalence of diarrheal calves was also lower in our study compared to classically weaned calves. This result is consistent because in young calves, diarrheal can be associated with the intensity of Cryptosporidium shedding, even if the frequencies of shedding was similar to those found in classic rearing system. It seems that training dairy cows with nurse cow tend to reduce the intensity of Cryptosporidium oocyte shedding in neonate calves. Risk factor of Cryptosporidium oocyte shedding can be split in 2 categories, as you can see here. Calves characteristic with calves born in the last 2/3 of the birth order, born between January and July, when the calf with the dam was in the barn. Moreover, early calf-dam separation and contact between peer calves, and especially the presence of an excretory calves fostered by the same nurse cow, were other risk factors. These results emphasize the role of the environment for the contamination, particularly those related to the accumulation of oocytes from previous or peer calves, facilitating the fecal-oral route of transmission. This highlights the role of the premise used intensively during the winter-spring months, with higher densities of calves in the barn and higher infection pressure for calves compared to the outdoor situations. We advise farmers to should be given to quick diagnose clinic cases from cryptosporidiosis and to possibly separate diarrheic animals from their peer during collective rearing phases. In addition, to advise to avoid early calf-dam separation and to promote outdoor calving as long as weather conditions allow spring-summer calving as a way to minimize environmental oocyte contamination. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Again, the possibility to raise questions or make comments. Please, Chris, can you take it up?
So we don't have any comments on the chat yet, but I'll ask a question. So the farmers you were working with, how have they responded to the feedbacks and results that you have presented them? Do you think that you have identified things that they can react to positively?
Positively on each what?
So the new factors that you have discovered, do you think that the farmers will be able to use them to influence their management?
Yes, they already see that there are less dairy calves in there with this management. And so if there have again dairy animal, they can follow this suggestion and then have any more dairy animals in their farms and know how to do with these animals.
Okay. If there are no other questions, I'm just looking at the watch. We are very well in time, even saving time for the coffee break. Thank you very much again to Caroline. You come with another presentation after the coffee break again. But now we stop for half an hour, and please be at not just 11:30, be at 11:25 back, that we really can start in time. So